Alright, I want to give a quick little tutorial here on how you can find a good 12-volt ignition source using a fuse box. This fuse box here is located in my trunk, so it's a pretty good spot to get 12 volts out of for something that you're going to use inside. So here, right now the ignition's off, and before you test any of these, you want to get a good grounding source right here to the chassis. So that's why this black lead is here. So we're going to start with this fuse right here. There's no voltage. Next one, there's no voltage. I already tested all of these, or this row here, and they don't have 12 volts without ignition. Let's go to these big ones here. Let's test this one. This one has 12 volts without ignition on. This one also has 12 volts without ignition on. I've already tested all of these, and pretty much the rest of these, except for this row here, have 12 volts without ignition. However, for the case of BMW, these will all turn off after like 10 minutes when the car is not being used and it's locked. So these will eventually not get any voltage at all. But my goal here is to find something that will only turn on when the ignition is on. So we're going to turn on the ignition and test these again, just to show that we're going to get 12 volts. The ignition is on. Alright, so now we're going to test it again and see if we get the 12 volts. So now we're getting 12 volts here. Next one. We got 12 volts again. So this whole row here is what I'm looking for, and it's 12 volts when the car is actually on. But if you look closely underneath this whole thing, that row is connected to this brown clip right here. So you can see that there's only one wire that's actually connected to one of these fuses. So this fourth fuse right here, the one underneath the blue one, is the only one that's being used for something. The rest of these are not being used for anything. And these are the ones that I can actually use as a good 12-volt power source. So what you can do is you can get like a fuse tap and just plug it into an empty space here. I already took one of the fuses out, but you can put a fuse tap in here that has like a little red wire that sticks out that you can use as a good 12-volt source.